Again, welcome to the Explain Everything webinar. So first off, we'll talk about some of the tools. A few more people might be coming in as we're getting started. I'm going to talk about some of the different tools, some of the different ways we can use Explain Everything, as well as some use cases for Explain Everything, especially for teaching and learning. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. To get started, I want to go ahead and have everybody take their iPads out if you have an iPad. This app is also available on Android. This app is a great way to explain everything, to explain teachings, introduction. We still have a few more people joining. Wait till they get their microphone started up here. All right. So one second. I'm going to put the download link in the chat. So if you go ahead and click the download link for the Explain Everything website, you can download it onto your computer, or as well as you could download it on your iPad. You could go to the App Store and search Explain Everything. So Explain Everything is a very multi-purpose app. You can have an interactive whiteboard. You can draw on it. You can put text onto it. You can it's really one app for everything. There's ways to record yourself, to record your voice, to record your camera. You can input video. You could input slides. You can narrate over those slides. This is really one app to do everything. And sometimes it's a little daunting when apps are kind of do an all-in-one tool. But Explain Everything is very simple and easy to use. So again, I'd like, if you have the chance, go ahead and download the app. I put the link in the description. You can download this app for free by searching on your Android or iOS tablet, your iPad. And you could search for Explain Everything, and it's a free app. I'll give you guys a little bit of a chance to go ahead and open that up. All right, great. So I'm going to go over a little bit of a presentation first, and then I will be sharing the screen of my iPad to demonstrate Explain Everything. So Explain Everything has a variety of tools. It has the ability to import photos and videos and files. It has the ability to add text, math equations, to draw and annotate. You can control all kinds of options. You can interact and move around objects. The canvas is infinite. You can zoom out and zoom in infinitely, as well as there's a timeline for everything. The ability to edit a timeline, to move your objects around, to record your voice, and to edit it like a movie, all inside of one app. So I'm going to go over some of those key features really quickly. So some of my favorite features of this app are the drawing tool. Explain Everything boasts that they have drawing algorithms to make the drawings and annotations look great. So if you don't have something like an Apple Pencil or a stylus, if you just have your finger, it works just as great as something like an Apple Pencil. The app does the smoothing and does the drawing for you a little bit. You can highlight. There's a full range of colors picker. You can move everything around, zoom everything out. Every object has the ability to be interacted with. Every object can be recorded, and every object can be moved around. And I'll be showing you how to do that in a little bit. Something else that is a huge feature of Explain Everything is the ability to edit a timeline. So Explain Everything has a timeline. It has a record button, it has a pause button, and it even has the ability to edit your video clips that you've just created, you've just animated. You can see in this little video here, you've just animated a rocket ship, and you have the ability to clip those clips and move them around and redo them. And so it really has full features of movie editing in, with simple features like drawing and inputting text. Probably my favorite feature of Explain Everything is the ability to zoom in and zoom out. There's some other PowerPoint applications online that do similar features like this, but you have the ability to put different types of presentations into one presentation, switch back and forth in between them, the ability to zoom out and talk about other features. But the more you zoom in, the better the quality gets, and the app really works great at doing this. And I have an example of this later on. Another one, a great feature is the ability to copy and paste. I think that's kind of a really cool feature, kind of a Photoshop level feature that's quick and easy to do. You can select the items, you can move them around, you can copy, duplicate, and group, and there's a very simple interface to be able to do this. And lastly, I kind of mentioned this before, there's the ability to add text, simple text editors, as well as the ability to enter math equations, enter any kind of math equation with a built-in math editor. And I know I've mentioned some of my favorite features already, but probably the most robust feature is the ability to bring in any kind of content and to Explain Everything. So whether it's a PowerPoint, it's a PDF, almost any kind of file can be brought into Explain Everything from any kind of location, from Google Drive, from your computer or your iPad, anywhere you've stored it on the internet. You have the ability to record video directly inside the app, as well as import videos and images quickly into the app. And I'll show you that soon. All right, hopefully this will be a little bit easier to see. I'll be able to kind of do some of these demonstrations that I was displaying before. So like Ann mentioned, there's kind of going over some of these key features. There's the ability to add clip art. You can see I found some of these planets in the clip art section, as well as animals and backgrounds, some buildings, some other fun icons, and maps. Definitely would be a great way to show history or maps using some of the things, but you could also save any picture online. You could save any have any picture you could bring any picture from Google Drive or Dropbox. You could bring the pictures in from Evernote or OneDrive, as well as taking them off of your iPad. You could use the photos or videos that are already saved and on your iPad or computer. So here I'm going to open up Google Drive and see if I can find some content to import in. So right here, I found some of my training materials, and I have some PDFs, I have some images, as well as having some slides. So let's see if I can import some slides in here. So I selected the document I wanted to import. I'm going to click Import Document. Take a second. You can see it's found several different pages in this document. You can go through and unselect certain pages that you don't want to use. Maybe there was a repeat of a slide or something to that effect. And then you can insert 17 pages either to the current slide or as new slides. So I'm going to select as new slides.
and explain everything's gonna, in the background, it's gonna add all these slides. So I'm gonna go ahead and select my first slide here. It's it's added every slide in the same order that I already had them. These slides, I also can move around these objects, zoom into them. You know, I could highlight and annotate over this content. Move to my next slide here. I could bring other objects on top of these slides. But like I was talking about before with narrating and lecture capture, now that I've inputted my slides, I could either give this presentation to my class, or I could take the time to sit down and record my voice over each slide. So I hit the record button. I'm going to speak in a normal voice and kind of watch the timer click down, as well as maybe interact with some of the objects. So as I interact with this object, it is also being recorded. Both my voice and the interactions are being recorded. So I'm going to stop that. I'm going to hit the timestamp here and bring up the timeline. And you can see as I kind of scroll through the timeline, you can see the movements I made in Explain Everything with my document, as well as my voice. You can see my voice down here. So let's see if we can hear it. I'm going to speak in a normal voice and kind of watch so I could go back, and if I didn't like something that I had said, I could split this clip. I could delete the clip and maybe re-record my voice. There's not a need to delete the slide and start over. Deleting my voice would still leave the interaction. So here, let me delete my voice here. It would still leave the interactions that I made. So I could, instead of having to make those interactions again, I could go ahead and go through and just record my voice. So let's see if I can do that here. Oops. Here's the sound of my voice. My voice over each slide. So, and again, you can see I made some new recordings. So kind of to go back and review the tools, since you weren't able to see some of that before, you were only able to see my screen. So I mentioned the hand tool. Here, let's get to a better project here. I mentioned the hand tool up at the top here. This is the tool to move around objects and to interact with objects. You can see everything on the screen is something that I can move around. These objects, I have grouped them. So like you saw at the top, I can move the text as well as the box. Or I could use the inspector tool, this little eye in a box, and choose to arrange tools or edit the item that I've selected. In this case, I'm going to highlight the top little button here, the vertebrates button. I'm going to group those objects. The top selection here is to group, as well as I'm going to lock this one. I don't want this one to be moved anymore. I want it to stay at the top of my screen. So I'm going to lock that and make sure that it's grouped the right way. So now if I go back to my hand tool, you can see when I put my finger over that, I can't move it around. It's locked. But with these other ones, I still can manipulate them and move them around. So if I was going to make my little chart here, let's see if I can grab that one over here. I can kind of begin to organize my chart, figure out where different things fit. And maybe you could have your students download this template, interact with the template, each of them move around the objects that you've already created, maybe create their own objects on top of this. This example I saw I've recreated this And when using the zoom tool here, kind of at the bottom of my toolbar here, can kind of zoom out and have all my animals here that I would want to sort. So maybe this was an activity for some younger students, like we were mentioning before, that you could organize these mammals into their group. And from the clip art that I've added, there some more interaction is added to these slides. I wanted to show the features of the video again. So here I have a few different videos. You can see I can manipulate each video and have them playing all simultaneously, as well as I could continue to bring more videos in. Oops. And you know, if we were presenting on these 4 different videos, I could have them each lined up, ready to be viewed. We could use the zoom tool to kind of zoom into the particular video and start it. Let's get, and have it start playing. Maybe talk about what's going on in the video. Once that video is over, I could zoom out and kind of zoom back into another video and present on that. This is definitely one of the coolest features of Explain Everything, kind of having the simultaneous view of multiple videos at the same time, as well as the ability to take new video. You know, I could take video of myself. Oops. I could take video of myself as and record myself as I'm inputting new objects. I could create my own video, maybe talking about an introduction to a course or something to that effect, and have this video play alongside of all these other videos.
As I'm inputting new objects.
So, I mean, this can kind of get messy quickly, but there's still the ability to kind of manipulate and move these objects around, as well as record everything that I'm doing at the same time. So if we don't have any more questions, let me go through here, see if a few other questions is how would this app compare to iMovie? So I think iMovie is a great app. It's an app that I use often to edit iPad video or mobile video. And I think it's a little bit of a simpler app to use because the timeline's easier to use, and each video that you pull in is shown as a clip. But I like Explain Everything for the ability to kind of draw over and import any kind of images or files. And it really gives a lot more features when editing. The fact that I can record and edit at the same time rather than go out and record all my content and then edit all my content at once. Kind of have to put a little bit more of a production together. Explain Everything is much better for making a video. And then another question asked is using a mic or headset for the audio recommended? And I think it is, but I think I think it's also great to use the camera and the microphone that's built into your computer or built in to the iPad, as long as you have a quiet environment around you. So as long as there's no more questions, hopefully you've learned something today. I will be sending out some links to some tutorials on Explain Everything, as well as sending out the link to this recording. Thank you so much for joining me, for taking the time to watch this tutorial and this webinar. And if you have any more questions about Explain Everything, feel free to email our office at ittsupport@apu.edu. So again, thank you for attending this webinar. I hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend.